Yo, what's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy, Kevin Forte, and we are taking a look today at the Winnipeg Jets being eliminated from the 2022 Stanley Cup playoffs. We'll be taking a look at that today. So, the Western Conference picture is starting to get itself written into place. I mean, the Eastern Conference already well decided, but now we are down to two teams left in the Western Conference, still vying for a Stanley Cup playoff spot. That's the Vancouver Canucks and the Vegas Golden Knights on the outside of the playoffs, still looking to nip at the heels of Dallas and Nashville to punch their ticket in. The Winnipeg Jets, unfortunately, are 10 points out now. They are out of the playoff spot. Out of the playoff picture. They had a rough game the other night against the Rangers. They get shut out at MSG. That was a rough game for the Jets, and that kind of is, unfortunately, it's like they deserve to miss the playoffs. You lose games like that, that's when you're going to miss the playoffs. Those are the games that if you are a playoff team, you have to find a way to win, especially where the Jets were at. And it didn't work for them. And unfortunately, that's kind of what happens. And you're looking at a team, I'm going to talk about this. Actually, I made a video already about this actually being posted the day I'm making the video. Mark Scheifele could be a guy that goes to the Rangers. How interesting would that be? But looking at the Jets right now, and that's something we'll talk about over the summer more. This is a team that I don't even know what to say. Their goals for and goals against, that's also a concern. 17th in the NHL for goals for, 21st in the NHL for goals against. They're not good at keeping the puck out of their own net, even with a Vezina caliber goalie in Connor Hellebuyck. They're on pace to maybe get 40 wins this season. They're 6th in the Central Division. And you can't really blame injuries here. For the most part, they've been healthy. They've been without Cole Perfetti and Mark Scheifele, and that's pretty much it right now. Again, I mean, Kyle Connor's been great for this team. Scheifele's been good. Dubois has been good, but it's just not enough. And when you look at here, let's get to the goalies. This is where things are interesting. The goalies are actually okay, but Hellebuyck hasn't been Vezina caliber, right? He's a goalie that is very capable of getting a 915, 920 save percentage and being a Vezina finalist. This year he's only got a 909 save percentage. He's putting up below average numbers. Eric Comrie's actually putting up a better save percentage. Again, 50 games less. Let's put this in perspective, but you get the premise here. He has struggled a little bit. And the Jets as a team have struggled. You look at their top guys, it's Dubois with 56 points, Wheeler with 55 points, Ehlers, Stastny. I mean, those guys are good, right? But then it comes to the depth, and that's where this team has unfortunately struggled. They are not getting enough depth. And that's when you hoped guys like Christian Vesalainen, Cole Perfetti would come in and kind of take over that mark. And now Cole Perfetti's out. It's just not been a good year for the Jets. And I just think the problem with the Jets is they just have too much just that didn't go their way. But as a team, I just never really saw them as that dominant team like we've seen over the past, really since 2020, right? I mean, the perception of this team was totally different, right? They went to the Western Conference Finals. They were supposed to win I think I said they would win the North Division, right? For Canada's team. It didn't end up happening. They just, too many things didn't go their way, right? But this is not the team that they were, and their cup window has kind of faded. And I just think that we're starting to see the reset. You have a new head coach in town. You just have a lot of things that are different. And I think right now with where they're at, I just think they're kind of in what's that called? Like a morphing. They're morphing right now, and I think it's good because it's going to allow some of those core aging players to maybe move on, but it's going to be a painful process, unfortunately. And in the Central Division, I just talked about how good the Metro is. I mean, the Central, especially this year, is very good. You have Colorado, Minnesota, and St. Louis that are just really good. Dallas is pretty good. Vegas might not make the playoffs, and they're a pretty good team. And they're in the the Pacific, right, trying to sneak in. The Central Division, we're going to see 5 playoff teams in the Pacific, more likely than not. So that's kind of how the cookie crumbled this year for the Jets. And I think there's concern even in the future. I think the Ducks and Vancouver are getting better. I don't know if they're better than those teams next year. I could see them overtaking Winnipeg. But a lot of this is on a guy like Connor Hellebuyck. Like, they really rely on him to be a .915, .920 save percentage goalie, and he just hasn't been there. So maybe it's just a bad season, and things will get better for them. They've only made the playoffs 5 times since they relocated. I think in, 2013, 2010. They break their 4-year playoff streak, which that really sucks. Like I said, consistently they've been a playoff team. But then you even have going into the summer some questions. What's going to happen with Mark Scheifele and Pierre-Luc Dubois? Like I mentioned, could Scheifele get traded this summer? There's just so much uncertainty with this team. And, you're kind of left saying to yourself, what is the future of the Jets? Because what is their identity? Is it Cole Perfetti? Like, they don't have a real identity. They do have Blake Wheeler. They do have Scheifele. But, like, is that kind of just the old guard that's kind of needing to get filtered out? You can't really move Blake Wheeler. His contract is massive. That's going to be really difficult to move. That's like, I hate to say, it's almost going to have to be like a buyout candidate in the next year or two. And I just don't see anybody really wanting to take that. So the only other real options you have are to trade like a Scheifele, because you don't want to trade Hellebuyck. You don't want to trade, God forbid you trade anybody on that defense. Like, I mean, there was a lot of hope. They brought in some nice defensemen this year. The defense hasn't worked. A lot of things didn't work. Inevitably led to Paul Maurice, their long-tenured head coach, getting fired. It's been a season of change in Winnipeg. And I think to say optimism is coming next year, maybe with some of the younger guys like Vesalainen, and Villianola and Cole Perfetti. But I don't know. I do have my concerns for them. So, guys, let me know what you think down below. Thank you so much for watching, and let's go Jets.